Tony, Andy, welcome back to Holmesdale. How does it feel?
It feels a little bit surreal in some ways because, I mean, I started off managing here back in the early 2000s. That was my first job, so that does feel a little bit surreal. Feels like I've come home though in lots of ways, because although there's quite a lot that's changed, there's also a lot that hasn't. So no, it's good. Comfortable, I'd say. Not comfortable. I'm wearing a pair of old slippers.
And Andy, you used to play down here as well.
Yeah, so this is where I finished playing officially. So it was only like a year ago, but yeah, a couple of months towards the end of that summer that I ended up sitting literally over there. So yeah, no, it's good to be back, to be honest. It's good to be back. Nice to be able to come back to a club that we're familiar with, from people behind the scenes. Great people that run this club, so I think it's good to be back amongst it, to be honest.
And how did your returns come about?
Well, I mean, I was here a long time ago and stayed friends with the people. I was here for a number of years, and we've always been in touch. Was here sort of on the committee a few years ago when it was going through some bad times, and sort of, you know, oversaw from the background them getting promoted back into step 5, and then I got the bug for managing again and went away, so never really lost contact as such. And then obviously was asked at the end of the season if we'd be interested in coming down when the other manager went, and we didn't need a long time to say yes, really, so that's how it come about.
Great. Obviously Holmesdale struggled a little bit last season, so what are the aims and the goals for this season?
Go on, Andy.
I think yeah, from our side of things, we're coming from a different situation to what we was in last year from a targets perspective. But I think we want to improve on the position that they finished in last year, obviously, which I still think was actually a good achievement to keep them in the league. Previous manager's done a great job with that. We would like to, like a lot of clubs, I think we're probably going to be saying they want to target playoffs. With the playoffs being at this level of football for the first time, will make the league a lot more competitive. We see this as it's not a short-term project. It's going to be over a numerous years where we can try and build the profile of the club on and off the pitch, and that hopefully will lead to us trying to get into the playoffs. I think we'd be crazy not to target that, but the reality of where we are as a club at the moment would be, I think, just to improve on previous seasons, to be honest.
You seem like you've made a good start as well over the summer. You've retained a couple of the squad from last season and brought in a couple of players as well. Yeah,
so goalkeeper being one, excellent young keeper. He was here actually before when Ben Coates was manager, and he went off to uni, so that's why he couldn't commit. But yeah, he's got the lot really. I think he just needs to get more experience, and you know, with goalkeepers they get better with age rather than outfield players, as Andy can allude to. And he he was one of the ones that we really wanted to keep hold of this year. Goalkeeper being vital, and James Shieldsy, he's another one who's you know, been around the club for a while, club man. You know, he literally said it in the bio really, Mr. Consistent. You know, he can. I don't want him to play in different positions, but he can and he will, and he's just one of them. You never ever get a peep out of him. He just does what you ask him to do and never moans, and gives you 100% every single week. So delighted to keep those two on board.
Is that important then, consistency?
Yeah, I think so. I think any player that can perform consistently throughout the season is going to be one of your standout players. Especially at this level, it's important to maintain that. And I've played with Shieldsy, specifically talking about him, and he's been very consistent over the time that he's been at this club. So looking forward to kind of working on the other side of things with him now, being his manager rather than being his teammate. So he's certainly someone that you can look to that you can rely on. Again, you won't find a more honest player in this level of football, in my opinion. So really excited to keep him.
And what can the supporters expect from a Tony Beckingham, Andy Constable side down here at Oakley Road?
I would say they can expect what they had here from Belvedere and anywhere else we've been. We always want to be competitive. We always want to try and win games, which is important. I mean, sometimes you have to dig in and do the other side of the game, but the main thing is we just be competitive. You know, hopefully we won't get rolled over by anybody too badly. We're going to lose games, of course we are. That's just natural. But they can expect 100% commitment, professionalism, and where we can, attacking football.
Brilliant. We look forward to it. Thanks for your time, guys.
Cheers, Nick.
Cheers, Nick.